Car Conversations with Mr. Cage. When your IQ is higher than your EQ, or rather, if your IQ is higher than your EQ, you will be DQ. Let's go. You can share this with a team. It's applicable to us as adults as well. Man, these Quotient, please, y'all. Tune in to these car conversations. They have no motive. The only motive that they have is me explaining some of the thoughts that I get for our betterment and transformation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please share. Share this with someone. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. This thought was revealed to me in a classroom environment. It was profound. I posted it on the book in anticipation that it would help somebody. Now I want to elaborate on it. What does it really mean? What does it mean to be disqualified? How does disqualification happen in our lives? How do we get disqualified? And what do we get disqualified from? These are all questions that we're going to answer in this Car Conversations with Mr. Cage. Yep. Walk with me. Talk with me. Any feedback, any comments, any questions, especially if I'm making statements that need to be clarified, put them in the comments section of wherever platform you're watching this video on. Let's get it. Happy Tuesday. I'm ready, bro. Let's go. If my IQ, intelligence quotient, is higher than my EQ, emotional intelligence, I will be disqualified. I will be DQ. Yeah, absolutely. I often tell young people that you're going to obtain a associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and PhD, and it will not matter if you don't possess a certain level or degree of emotional intelligence. It won't matter, because the decisions that people make that disqualify them from going into the next phase of life, whatever that looks like for people, it is different vantage points and different perspectives for different people. Those decisions that people make that disqualify them are normally, number one, impulsive decisions. Impulsive decisions that are solely and primarily led by emotions. Secondly, the decisions that we make that disqualify us are decisions that flow from a belief system that has been fortified in a traumatic situation. And that traumatic situation is associated with a negative emotion, equating to an experience that has become the person's reality and an integral part of their belief system. That person or people is only able to see within that realm. They can't see. There are people on the face of the planet who can see and who can hear. And there are people on the face of the planet who cannot see and cannot hear. If you want further elaboration on that, let me know. Just type the letter E for elaboration. I'll elaborate. There are people on the face of the planet that can see and can hear, but there are people on the face of the planet that cannot see and cannot hear. And the people that's on the face of the planet that can see and hear, they're not from. They have no origin. They have an association. Get over it, brother. But they are not. They don't come from the earth. They don't come from the earth. But here's the question. I have a associate's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. I have a PhD. Cage, how can you say that my decision making won't be on point? How can you say that I will make unwise decisions when I have all this quote unquote education that we have pursued in association with any of those degrees that I've named have become our identity? Have become our identity. And when we don't know who we are and what we are has become who we are, our position as a professional in whatever industry has become who we are, our decision making in life will be off. Our decision making in life, it will be off. Because we work more on our jobs. We work more on our careers. We work more on our businesses than we allow the work to be done inwardly on ourselves. You never work on yourself. You never work on yourself. Those are semantics that project illusions and lies. Trust me on this. There is someone and there is something working within us that works on us. So I never take the liberty to say I'm working on me. I never take the liberty to say that, because I'm beyond that and I'm past that. I'm past those semantics in my life. And I'm not saying it in an arrogant way, y'all. I'm just saying, you reach a point in your life where you don't think the same way. You don't do the same things. You don't move in the same way. You don't have the same actions. Your motivations change. So this is what I'm saying. My motivation, my beliefs, my actions, my words, my behaviors, my activities have changed. There's work being done inside. And in most cases, that work comes through conflict. Most times it comes through conflict. And conflict will let you know what's in you. And it's what's in us when the conflict arises or when a conflict presents itself and that person arrives with that false identity. That's an imposter. That is not who you truly are. But because we don't know who we truly are, And when we make mistakes or we have habitual behavior patterns that can be considered as counterproductive or unhealthy, we look at those behaviors and we let our behaviors identify us as people. No, you cannot allow that. You can own the behavior and not let the behavior own you. When people own the behavior and the behavior has owned them, they associate their identity with that behavior. That's false. And there are people projecting this to you, so you need to understand this. There are people projecting to you that if you make a mistake or you have a habitual behavior pattern that could be unhealthy or counterproductive. When I say counterproductive, I mean that it goes in the polar opposite direction of where your life is going. There are individuals that will project that to you, and they will arrest you. They will arrest your identity. They will arrest your assignment. They will arrest your purpose, and they will arrest your destiny. But I'm sorry, it's not necessarily the people. It's the mindset that operates in them and the belief system. Car conversation with Mr. Cage. If your IQ, your intelligent quotient is higher than your EQ, you will be DQ. Because we do more work as it relates to our education, our profession, than we allow the work to be done in us. Yep. Our public life is not a reflection of our private life. See, in the public, we superstars because we can use the jargon, the vocabulary, the terminology associated with our profession. Or if you're an athlete, you can perform because that's a part of your profession. It's a part of the gift that's placed inside of you. So it's a part of the talent that you have, that you've cultivated, perfected, and improved on. And when we're talking about our personal interactions with people, sometimes it's not quite it. And because it's not quite it, there are opportunities. There are doors or opportunities that you are presented with that you cannot open because you don't have the right key. You gotta have the right key to open up certain doors. Certain doors for us are shut, locked, and remain. There's no access granted in those doors because we don't have the right keys. And some of the keys that we need is connected to how we interact with individuals that don't look like us. They're not from where we're from. They come from different cultures. They come from different upbringings. They have different experiences. And because we perceive those people as threats, and the things that they say as a threat, our defense mechanisms come up because they're connected to upbringing, environment, and some trauma. I don't like to use the word trauma like that. I believe it's overused and it's over to see what it does. And this is where some of us are. Let's wrap up this car conversations, man. I don't got a lot of energy. I ain't hooping and hollering. I ain't talking loud. We having a car conversations. So the tone, the emotion, it may be different because it's just based on how passionate I am, depending on the time of day and how my day has went, or just my mode at the time. But my mode with this is to be very clear and very articulate and very concise and precise with these words because it's extremely important. Let's wind down this car conversations real quick, and I will say this: that these type of conversation, and specifically this type of conversation, is not appealing to the masses. It is not. everybody is not willing to go through the process, and I'm going to use this term, of doing the work. Everybody is not, they're not ready. It takes a tremendous amount of courage. It takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice. It's painful. It's painful. If you exercise or lift weights, type the word, not the word, but type the letter W. Any muscle that is getting strengthened is going to go through some type of pain. I was doing some dips the other day, and my chest, my arms was burning because I worked the muscle. See, I extended myself past the norm, which is uncomfortable. Everybody's not willing to do that. Everybody has the capacity to do it, but everybody's not capable of doing it. Let's wrap this car conversation up so I can give you some insight concerning the why people are not willing to do the quote-unquote dirty work pertaining to personal development. Because your worldly system doesn't value it. Your worldly system doesn't value it. What you see, the system, this is what the system values, y'all. So type the word value and type the word system. If your IQ is higher than your EQ, then you will be DQ. The system itself projects to us what is value, or what's projected to us is by design. So it's either the market projecting itself to us as far as what is of value, or there's messaging sent to us designed to promote to us and project to us what's important. And this is one reason why people value education. When I say education, I mean in terms of academics, higher than emotional intelligence. Because that's all that you see. Commercials, 30-second commercials, 60-second commercials. Excuse me, whether they be on YouTube, regular television programming, Facebook Reels, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you see education promoted, it's always promoted as improving the quality of your life. But the missing component is emotional intelligence, which is directly connected to your perception and your identity. How you see yourself, how you see the world around you. Because how you see yourself in terms of perception determines how you see the world around you. And how you see the world that's around you, your external environment, determines what you are willing to do, say, connect with, or disconnect with. And that's loaded. That's loaded. It's not, at times, trust me on this, as we wrap up this entire conversation with Mr. Cage, at times, your IQ will limit the opportunity for your growth as it relates to EQ. Because sometimes your IQ, as far as your degree, cannot see past what you've been taught. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. And the IQ is loaded. It's not only in terms of academics, as far as degrees. It's if you're a person that does self-study, if you're a person that's an avid reader. These are all IQ situations because they can be connected or associated with your comprehension or your cognitive ability. what occurs with people is that their cognitive ability, their IQ could be considered as high. And when you are identified as a smart person, you normally get validated from people. And that transforms into idolatry. IDOLTARY. We begin to worship acknowledgement, validation, and affirmation from people. And they become God instead of, or they become a God instead of us worshiping the one and true living God. When we are looking for affirmation solely from people, that's called imprisonment. Because people can be fickle, people can be opinionated, people can be moody, people can be inconsistent. And you mean to tell me that I'm gonna put my life in the hands of a person or people that are inconsistent, the entire human race? Absolutely not. But that's what occurs when you're smart. I tell my students all the time, when a moment presents itself, as you go into your next phase of life, I don't want you to be smart. I want you to be wise. I want you to have the understanding of the ideas, the concepts, the subjects, the topics that you have been taught and what's been shared with you. I want you to understand where all these components fit in the story of your life. How do you integrate these different components and create a lifestyle that's a high quality living in all areas of life? Not just financially, not just emotionally, but mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, and emotionally. Your IQ should not be higher than your EQ. Your IQ can become a shield, an impenetrable shield that resists change internally. This is Mr. K's Car Conversations. Have a great rest of your day, an even greater week, and remember, be great at what you do, but aim to be greater at who you are.